Good afternoon. You still all fit? Yeah? Good. Last session, automotive. Now it's about speed and velocity and all of that. Did you use Alexa in the car? Who was it? Did you use Alexa in the car? Okay. Doesn't really work, right? Good. So, automotive, hot topic. 60% of the export profit of this country, Germany, depends directly or indirectly on this industry. It's something that all of us is moving, is moving all of us, and it's fundamentally something that is completely in limbo at the moment, right? But there's one fundamental problem with this industry. It's building fast things very slow. So if you know automotive a little bit, you will know that the production cycle of a car with preparation is about 5 to 7 years. Then the model will be produced 10 years. So we have something like 15 years for the same car. And we all think that we're going to autonomous drive in 5 years from now. It will not going to happen. 2/3 of the fleet outside there will be still around in 10 years. What does it mean? It fundamentally means that developing of software, any type of machine learning, out of the industry is almost impossible, because it only can start in 2025. So now we talk about assistance, and we talk about elements like autonomous driving, and we talk about cognitive load, etc. How do you want to do that? There's one serious way to leapfrog that, and that is the installed base. There are a lot of cars outside there. There are a lot of drivers outside there, and the average car in the US is 11 years old. So it's not that everyone is driving a 7 Series or a Tesla. Same in Germany. So there are some signature cases recently in that industry who has proven that case very rightly. One is Cruise. Cruise Automation is a company that was created by Kyle, whom I met in 2014 in the Valley. And this guy said, why should we wait for autonomous driving when there are so many cars around? So let's build an aftermarket kit for lane control, lane assistance, and he created Cruise. 2015, the company got sold to General Motors, GM, for $1 billion as the foundation of their self-driving activities. Although this company, as something is going wrong at the moment in the Valley, we know about that, Uber, etc. Although also has a reputational issue, but they did exactly the same. They said, before Daimler will bring those self-driving trucks to us on German highways and French highways, etc., take all the heavy trucks outside there and work with them, because we can approach them immediately. And that is what we do exactly with our conversational AI, our cognitive co-driver, Chris. We're starting in the aftermarket to build something for the embedded version in automotive. And the market is huge. If you look at that, I just mentioned that in Germany alone, there are 40 million cars on the road. 220 million cars are in the US, and they are on average 10 years old. So now comes the problem. That was the situation. Now comes the problem. Who of you actually is using the smartphone while driving? Come on. Come on. My hit rate is almost 100%. Come on. Good. So you are not alone, right? 70 to 85% of people are using often to very often the smartphone while driving. And the reason is old cars, non-connected cars, smartphone, digital life, and we know all this, right? Scrolling through the emails at the red traffic light, replying to a WhatsApp when the traffic light is turning yellow, and so on and so forth. It's a massive impact. The first time in 25 years, the death casualties on US highways went up again. And the NHTSA, that's the North American Traffic Association, they call it the Snapchat effect. The German Ministry of Transport currently is preparing a bill to ban smartphones in cars. By the way, they are banned for drivers in California and Israel. So we see something here, and if we think about that for the next 20, 25 years, that will not be able to separate. And that's something that we're tackling with Chris. Chris is an easy-to-install aftermarket solution that connects with your phone, provides you a personalized profile of content, and allows you to interact with that content without getting the hands off the wheels and the eyes off the road. And beside that, Chris is learning, understanding your patterns, understanding if you're a more passive driver, aggressive driver, and it fits in every car. You doesn't have to do anything else than getting Chris out of the box, connect with your phone, and off you go. So Chris fundamentally is using voice interaction. And in that respect, yes, Chris is somehow the Alexa for the car. But we believe that voice is a dominant interface, but it cannot be the only interface. So how, if you imagine that Chris, as your digital assistant, would read out your emails, how do you do this in the morning when you're driving those 45 minutes to the office? You never read all the emails. But you have this pressure that you scroll down a list and you want to pick some of those. Because at 9, when you're arriving in the office, there's the first meeting. How you scroll through a list of emails with voice? You're sitting in the car and saying, next, next, next. Amazon actually understood that very well and now is coming with the first Alexa with a graphical display. Because voice alone is not enough at the moment. Why? Because the AI is not strong enough. And the AI for voice only will be only strong enough in a couple of years. So we believe that gesture is a very supporting element. Instead of telling Chris, next, 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 you can perfectly wave through a list of email or a list of contacts. So in that respect, that is part of the secret sauce we are working at. It's the dialogue management, which is the source of every assistant, of every speech assistant. And it's not about speech recognition or text-to-speech. Those of you who are from the industry or understand that, there are companies like NOAH, there are companies like Google, Amazon, you can buy this one. It's about the so-called dialogue management. So what makes a machine an intelligent assistant? What is the right answer to your question? It's not just to understand that the word car means car. It's also the question what to reply on that. And that is something we are focusing on, and we fundamentally convinced that the dialogue management for mobility is fundamentally different than the dialogue management at home. Think about that. Chris, Alexa, Siri, etc., all these assistants, they fight about the connected home. You have stable Wi-Fi. You guys all have several screens at the same time. You get 24 messages at the same minute. You can dance naked in front of your TV and reading an app. But that's not possible if you're driving 1.5 tons with 140 kilometers. I'll give you one example. If you're driving along a route and you're approaching a highway exit and you're listening to your Google Maps, in the very same moment, you expect the navigation command, a WhatsApp is coming in. And you miss the navigation command. And with that, the exit and the result is a detour of several kilometers, and you may be missing a meeting, etc. Therefore, we strongly believe that there is essential dialogue management required and essential intelligence for mobility. So this is Chris. Chris is a digital co-driver. Actually comes to you as a plug-and-play solution, as an AI assistant with messaging, navigation, music, and calls, and that is only the beginning. With that, we're going to bring it to the market. To validate the product concept, we did a Kickstarter. It's an awesome platform, I have to say, and it was a huge success. We had 2 goals. First goal was actually to validate the product concept, what we did. The product got funded in 8 hours, 550% pledge. And second was to get the awareness for the product launch early next year. So that's the team behind, quite experienced, not too young anymore. I'm working for 19 years for startups, and 10 of that in automotive. Actually, the first company I helped to build with was Gate 5, a company that was acquired 10 years ago by Nokia, and was the foundation of HERE Technologies. HERE Technologies was a company acquired by 3 German car makers for $3 billion 2 years ago. Then I built another company. Again? Yeah, but you didn't stop the other one, so I take my time. Sorry. Really. So there is no watch here. You didn't stop anyone else. You have to give me the time. Thank you. So it's one more slide. Let me talk about my team. So the second company I actually helped to build was Alpeo, a music streaming company that we turned into a audio streaming platform for cars. And we sold it to Panasonic Automotive. So I'm doing this for pretty long time, quite successfully. Patrick, my co-founder, very experienced product guy. The last 5 years he headed consumer services in HERE Electronics, HERE Technologies, and before he was with Vodafone and Deutsche Telekom. And Nadav, he's an Israeli entrepreneur living in Palo Alto, is supporting us in AI. So that was Chris, and happy to talk to you if you're interested. Thank you.